Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen.
Alright. What's going on, everybody? Episode 23 of Gettin Geeked with your boy, Danny Allen, covering all things entertainment news, movies, streaming, you name it. We're talking about it. This week has been pretty interesting as far as entertainment news goes. If you've been paying attention, Andor has wrapped. Wednesday, the Addams Family spin-off series is out on Netflix. Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, is out on Disney+. There is a lot going on this week. Scream 6 has some news. And towards the end of the show, we are going to pay our respects to the Green Ranger himself, Jason David Frank. Coming up next, or first rather, Andor. Andor is over. 12 episodes. Was it worth it? Was it the best Star Wars series yet? Oh, this one's for adults. This Star Wars show is for adults. It's also the lowest viewed Star Wars show on Disney+. So much so, they have to pimp it out to other networks, like Hulu and ABC Family or whatever, Freeform, to get eyes on Andor. Because it's for adults, yet it's not getting views. So, just because it's for adults doesn't mean it's good. You could say The Mandalorian is for adults, but what about Grogu and all this other stuff and the space battles and the lightsabers? Listen, just because it has blasters and lightsabers and has action, it doesn't mean it's for kids. We just haven't got anything serious yet regarding these lightsabers or the Force. So when people were saying, well, this show Andor's for adults, okay, well, that could be good and bad. House of the Dragon was for adults, but also had a better pace than Andor. Well, if you say, okay, so people were saying Andor was really boring and it took its time and that's why it's a bad show. Well, if that's what you think, then that's fair. Many of these episodes in Andor could have been chopped up. I'm 12 episodes, you probably could have condensed everything into 8 because the pacing was off in some episodes. Some characters are like, why are we focused on these characters? I'm not going to get into too many spoilers with Andor. Just as far as the tone goes, I don't have a problem with the tone of Andor. I would actually like a Boba Fett series with the tone of Andor. That would be interesting. Make it like Sopranos or whatever. But as far as Andor himself, I feel like he wasn't the focus of this show. It was more of an Empire series, especially because in the first episode, Andor is looking for his sister, and that storyline kind of got left behind, and we never really catch up with that part of the story. And it's overall, and then they try to throw in some fan service Easter eggs throughout the whole season, but that doesn't make up for the storylines that they're starting and not finishing. People are worried that Andor is going to change the canon because I guess we have some comic books that show how K2SO and Andor meet and how Tony Gilroy doesn't care about the previous stuff and he's making his own story, so there's rumors he's going to be changing things around, which I've been saying for a while. Comic books aren't canon, the novels aren't canon. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they count the movies and the Clone Wars as canon. Everything else, they're going to cherry pick. If they want to change stuff, they will. Whatever suits their needs for the story. So don't put too much time and don't invest too much into these comic books, these novels that are coming out, because they will change. They will change things. So yeah, dude, Andor, I watched it. I might have enjoyed it more if they put out all the episodes at once. I'm just kind of over this week-to-week thing, and especially if you get, 3 or 4 episodes that are kind of slow back-to-back. It's like, what are we doing here? I understand they wanted to tell like 3 individual stories in this season. I still think they could have done better with the editing. I know they want to ride these characters' expressions without saying much. Where it like gets it down to the brass tacks, like the drama of it all. I understand all that. I give Andor a B plus, definitely, but I would also give The Mandalorian a B plus. It's very 2 different types of shows that warrant kind of the same grade. And yeah, I just feel like they're stretching these stories out because they have to. And let's not do that. Let's just get to the core elements. That's why I love Tales of the Jedi, because it was short 15-minute episodes, no filler, they get right to the point, action, drama, all that stuff. It's all there. What do you think of Andor? I don't have too much to say about it, other than it was fine. Now we have to wait 2 years. They should have gave us a little bit more at the end. That's all I'm saying. Andor, what did you think? Comment below and let me know what you guys thought about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm ready for the Acolyte. I'm sorry I like lightsabers. I'm sorry I like the Force. That to me is the heart and soul of Star Wars. I know it's Star Wars, so you need the Rebels and you need the Imperials, and then you need the space battles. Ugh. You can give me a whole Star Wars series that's just based off the Force with no space battles, and I would be down. And you can make it slow and adult, and all these things that people are trying to attach to Andor. You could attach that to a Force sensitive show, and we'll get the same result. So I'm curious to see how Andor does in the ratings when it's all said and done. But it's not a good sign that they have to pimp it out to freeform to get views. So yeah, let me know what's up. Coming up next, Tim Burton, The Addams Family. Wednesday, I watched it. Now, once again, pacing problems. This was 8 episodes, and by episode 6, I was like, what are we doing here? Let's get to it. They set up a lot of mystery in this. It's kind of like Harry Potter now. People have magic. People have powers. There's werewolves. Very different than what I was expecting, which isn't bad. This felt like Goblet of Fire at times. A lot of Harry Potter vibes, and it's from the guys that made Smallville apparently, which is good because I love Smallville. That being said, Wednesday the aesthetic was good, the vibes were good, cinematography was fine. I just think that maybe they were trying to do too much within these 8 episodes, because they did try to focus on the school and not the Addams Family themselves, which is a weird take considering we don't know this version of the Addams Family, so we're jumping right into Wednesday's arc and her perspective. Well, we don't really see her interact as within that family unit, so maybe they will do a new Addams Family show after this series. I don't know. I feel like they should have introduced Uncle Fester sooner, and I know it's at a school, but the parents were involved, but they weren't in as many episodes as I thought they would be, and the brother was underwritten. He was barely there. Why couldn't he be at that same school? Just doesn't really... I know it's for like outcasts or whatever, but just put the brother in the school too. Make it complete. But even Fester says he didn't get to go to that school either, so I don't know. Something about it. It was a little too Nancy Drew-ish for my taste. I don't mind like a Harry Potter vibe, but I do like the elements that they were telling with the Hyde story, and it's not like I don't mind the mystery angle, but after a while, when I got to episode 7, episode 8, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? I like the aspects of Wednesday trying to figure out, like, she doesn't want to conform to her parents, and how, I'm not like my mom, I'm not a clone or whatever, like, and everybody's trying to say, well, you're just like her, and then her ancestors from 400 years ago, and the old Jericho, they really, a lot of ideas in this Wednesday series, but I don't know if they I don't know. Christina Ricci in this is back as a different character. I'm glad they gave her something to do. She wasn't just some throwaway character. I'm glad she was involved. I'd also give this series a B. Wednesday. My expectations were pretty low, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it. I'm glad the episodes were 40 to 50 minutes. We really we really get to spend some time with these characters. I just want more family dynamic. And that's not a lot to ask for a Addams Family type show, but it is called Wednesday, so we definitely did get a lot of Wednesday. Jenna Ortega is pretty good as Wednesday. Definitely a darker take, a realistic take. And then now going back and watching the older Addams Family, I'm like, wow, they really should have. I like this dark take that they're bringing this time around. And I was really surprised it was TV-14 because there was some blood and gore. It kind of has like a Chilling Adventures of Sabrina type vibe. I could see them crossing over. But yeah, I don't think she had visions before, and now she has visions. Like I said, there's introducing a lot of ideas in this show with 8 episodes, about 40 to 50 minutes apiece. I just don't know. I think if they would have made it more simple, that's hard to say. I don't know. What do you guys think about Wednesday? Am I wrong here? It was fine. It was a good show, but I don't know if I need a second season. I'd rather get like an Addams Family show. What are you guys thinking of Wednesday? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Was it the best show? Was it fine? Was it bad? It definitely wasn't bad for me. Just a lot of elements they're introducing to us when I think they could have just focused on Wednesday and her family. But when you have to explain the school and everything else, and what are the rules of this world, and what exactly exists in this world, very good question. Like there's mermaids in this. You know, it's just there's a lot going on. Comment below in the comments. Let's talk about it. All right, Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special. It's out. I've watched it. Kevin Bacon, Drax, and Mantis. They kidnapped Kevin Bacon for Star-Lord. They introduced. They're leaning into this brotherly, like sister, relationship, I should say, with Mantis and Star-Lord because they had the same dad. Ego's their dad technically, so now they're leaning into that relationship. It was fine. I'm surprised. It was 45 minutes. I thought maybe 20, 30 minutes. But I'm surprised it just focused on Drax and Mantis for the most part. And Star-Lord had some scenes. But I don't know if it was because of their schedules or just this specific script. Rocket was barely in it. I like the intro and the outro of this special was like animation, like a 2D cartoon, like hand-drawn type of thing. And bringing back Yondu to explain the Christmas, and they still have that bond. Like, there was definitely some stuff I liked about this holiday special. What I didn't like about it was the opening song trying to explain Star Wars. Like, oh, is this what Christmas is? And then that whole thing went on for 2 minutes too long. I get what they're trying to do with this Christmas stuff, but like I've said in previous podcasts, I'm not really big on musicals. And I was like, let's reel it back a little bit. And then as soon as that was over, and they start going on their search for Kevin Bacon, I really enjoyed it. Them going to the bar, just experiencing what it's like to be on Earth. They have fans on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All that stuff is great. So, do we need this? No, but it's great. It's great to see like a little add-on, a little prelude to Guardians 3. But yeah, it was definitely more spread out than I thought. Nebula was there in the background. But yeah, they did scale things back. Don't know what the budget was like. But as far as like a Christmas special, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Kevin Bacon did his thing. Don't know if I needed the music number from him, but he did his thing. I would have liked some Hollow Man references. but they definitely had some references in there. Yeah, not a lot to say about it. It was good. It was good. What did you guys think? Buff Groot, dude's working out. What did you guys think of the holiday special? Comment below in the comments section. Let's talk about it. Coming up next, Getting Geeked. Man, we're flying through these topics. Straight flying through. Got some horror news. Horror news for you guys. Scream 6. People are talking about Scream 6. We got Hayden Panettiere leading the Scooby Gang. Looks like a Scooby-Doo movie. I'm worried. I'm kind of worried. It's giving me Scream 3 vibes. Kind of has this parody-looking vibe. They're all there, standing around like as a group, like, oh, what's next for the Scooby Gang? I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids, I like that Hayden Panettiere's back. Apparently she's playing an FBI agent. I haven't read too many of the leaks, but there are leaks out there. And apparently we have a first look at Ghostface, and he's holding a shotgun. This is a more ruthless Ghostface. If this is true, and he's holding up this gun, this liquor store, as Ghostface, like what's the story behind this? Is this a Stab sequel or like another meta kind of thing? Oh, why is Ghostface using a gun? Blah 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 blah. Because he can. Listen, Scream's been around since '96, right? That's a long time. If they want to change up Ghostface isn't the same person every time. So every person, every killer will have they're gonna have their own style, right? So yeah, if they have this shotgun, who's to know? Like, what if they get this shotgun pulled out on them and then they take it from the person and use it against them or something? I don't think Ghostface needs the same knife every movie to be Ghostface. I'm interested to see the storyline, considering it's in New York, new rules, blah blah blah. We're getting all these leaks, but we think that the studio is the one leaking these things. And if these are true, I'm all here for it, because I want Scream to grow as a franchise. I don't want it to stay in this one note kind of thing that Friday the 13th fell into. Nightmare on Elm Street, they kind of fell into these traps. As far as the sets concerned, like the formula, it may not be the same, but they all have a formula. And as far as Scream goes, it's a very simple formula. Maybe not anymore. Time to change it up. This last film was a story about reboots and the reboot culture, and now Scream 6 is totally different. It's actually titled Scream 6 with a V, V1. It's not Scream 2 like we thought it was going to be called. So, yeah, man, people are still upset Nev's not back. They're bugging the cast about it. Oh, what are your thoughts that Nev's not back? Well, she probably wanted to take half of our salaries in order to come back. So I'm pretty sure they're pretty happy with their status in the movie. So what do you guys think about Scream 6? Are you mad that Ghostface is using a shotgun? Is it a big deal? What do you think of the Scooby-Doo looking cast coming back? I hope there's a body count. Take some risks in this one. This is the 6th movie of this franchise. Dewey didn't make it out. Gail's still around for now. At this point, they wrote her off apparently in the movie. She's still alive, doing her own thing. I'm one to say, get rid of the old, bring in the new, and keep it going. Keep it going. Scream 6. Comment below in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Boom. And to wrap up today's show, Getting Geeked, we got some bad news last week. If you haven't heard by now, if you are a fan of Power Rangers, Ranger Nation, if you're part of this community, you will know Tommy Oliver, aka Jason David Frank, is no longer with us. I'm not going to go too much into detail about what happened. If you're watching this video, then you probably already know what happened. I posted a little tribute video on my TikTok account of the the Shattered Grid comic book promo that JDF filmed a couple years back. He was Lord Draken, finally, live action. A lot of people didn't know what that was from. They kept commenting, "Oh, what show is this from? What is this, a movie?" No, it was just a promo of the Shattered Grid comic book that JDF was a part of. He finally got to be his alternate version of the Green Ranger in live action. And it's sad, man, because JDF, he was the face of Power Rangers for a lot of people, for the majority people. Green Ranger, he was that guy. But he was also a real life human. He was also an actor. He was a real person. He wasn't just that character. He owned a lot of karate schools all over the country. He taught people martial arts, and he gave people jobs, and he built this community. He was part of Bat in the Sun. He did a lot of comic conventions, like as I said in the other podcasts. He was there for his fan base, and people liked and loved JDF because he was down for his fans, and he didn't laugh in their faces because, oh, it's just Power Rangers, it's just a kid show. No, he understood that it meant a lot to a lot of people in the world. So it's really sad that mental health, and the rumors that were going around about his divorce or whatever, it's not for me to speak on. It's just a sad thing when mental health takes over and you feel like you can't get out of that hole. And it's unfortunate that nobody was able to reach out to JDF and change the course of events. But he will live on forever. He has a legacy, a lasting legacy, and the Power Rangers fans will never forget. We will never forget Jason David Frank and what he provided to not only to us, the Power Ranger community, but for his co-stars, his family, everybody that met him at those conventions. It's unfortunate I never got to meet Jason David Frank at a comic book convention. I never got to go to Comic-Con to meet him. It's just really sad, dude, because we just lost Kevin Conroy, and for 90s kids, Power Rangers and Batman the Animated Series, JDF, Kevin Conroy, those are like two pillars of our childhood, and they're gone. But they're never really gone because we could just watch what they contributed to the community and just be reminded that they were here and their legacies will survive. Yeah, man, it's just it's hard to think about, because Power Rangers is something I would put on not to distract myself, but if Saturday morning cartoons, every Saturday you're watching Power Rangers, you feel like you're a part of that community, and then to try to separate that from their real lives, I can only imagine what their families are feeling. And it's just really sad, dude. What do you guys think about the passing of Jason David Frank? Leave a story in the comment sections about Jason David Frank. If you met him, what's your favorite Power Ranger that he played? Just comment below. Let's show JDF some love. Shout out to homeboy. And yeah, man. Rest in power, dude. Rest in power. What do you guys think about all these topics today? Andor, Wednesday, Guardians of the Galaxy, Scream 6. Lots going on this week. Let's go. Episode 23 of Gettin Geeked with your boy. You've been listening. I want to thank everybody that's been watching. We are almost at 1K subscribers on YouTube. I think we're at like 920 subscribers. Almost to 1,000. As soon as I get to 1,000, I want to start live streaming. Thank you to everybody that's following me on TikTok. I just reached over 2,000 followers. Like I said, my JDF tribute got like 400,000 views. I really, it's sad because that's like one of my most viewed videos, and it happens to be about the passing of Jason David Frank. And, you know, it's just, it sucks, dude, because he was, I don't want to stress this enough, he was there for a lot of people when we were struggling with our own mental health, and he was always that light in the dark. And now all we can do is be a light for what he represented to so many people. So yeah, man. Episode 23, killing it. Getting geeked with your boy. Comment below, let me know. Thank you for following and watching. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you like it, comment, subscribe.